Welcome to another amazing episode of our movie. Trust me, you are going to love this one. At the end, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to see more of our latest movies. Just relax and enjoy. The story begins with Alan, who has just returned from the United States with his fiancée. When they arrived home, he hugged his mom passionately and even kissed her on the lips, which surprised Naomi. He then introduced Naomi to his mom, who welcomed her but looked surprised by the display between mother and son. Alan and his mom held each other and went upstairs, forgetting Naomi was there. They turned back, noticed her, and asked her to feel at home, assuring her that Alan would take her to her room. Later in their room, Alan finished his shower, came out, and kissed Naomi. When she asked where he was going, he replied that he needed to apply lotion in his mom's room. Surprised, Naomi didn't understand why he needed to do this. Alan explained that he and his mom used the same lotion, which was kept in her room. Still, Naomi found the situation strange, and as Alan left, she thought to herself, "How did I get myself into this?" She sighed, looking frustrated. In Alan's mom's room, his mom began giving him a body massage, rubbing lotion on him. Naomi walked in on the scene and was shocked by the way his mom was touching him. Speechless, she quickly apologized, claiming she had lost her way, and left while Alan's mom continued the massage. Later, at the dining table, everyone sat down to eat, but Alan sat very close to his mom, ignoring his fiancée's presence. He played with his mom and ended up kissing her on the lips, leaving Naomi staring in disgust and disappointment. Alan didn't seem to notice or care about her feelings. That day, Naomi was inside when Alan came in. She dropped her phone, visibly upset, and told him she had left her country and family to be with him, only to find herself in his sugar mommy's home. Alan, confused, tried to explain that the woman was his mother. Naomi, however, didn't believe it, exclaiming, "What kind of mother would kiss her son on the lips and act so inappropriately?" Alan tried to calm her down, explaining it was just their bond, but Naomi became angry, packed her things, and left. As she was leaving, Alan's mom asked where she was going. Naomi shouted at her, telling her to stay away, or she would lash out. Alan's mom was taken aback by her reaction. Alan then came downstairs and warned Naomi never to insult his mother again. Furious, Naomi left the house. She ordered a cab, though she didn't know her way around, and got in without giving the driver a destination. After a while, the driver, frustrated, asked where she was going, but she kept insisting he drive. Finally, he refused and took her back to the pickup location. When they arrived, he asked for payment, but Naomi didn't have Nigerian currency and tried to pay in dollars, which he refused. Alan's mom, seeing the commotion, paid the driver, and Naomi, upset, took her bags and went inside. In her room, Naomi was soon joined by Alan's mom, who asked what she was doing there. Naomi replied, "What kind of woman kisses someone old enough to be her son?" Alan's mom, surprised, insisted that Alan was indeed her son and told Naomi not to jump to conclusions. But Naomi continued to insult Alan's mom and demanded that she leave the room. Later, Alan returned and went to their room, where Naomi pleaded with him to consider getting another apartment. Alan got angry and shouted at Naomi, reminding her that he had already told her about his closeness with his mom before she came. He explained that his mom means the world to him, as she is all he has ever known. Naomi then asked if he was really going to choose his mom over her, especially since they were getting married in 2 weeks. But Alan didn't respond and simply went to sleep. The next morning, while Alan was dressing for work, Naomi informed him that she had found a property where they could move after they married. Alan immediately dismissed her, telling her to stop bringing it up. He stated that wherever he goes, his mom goes too, and that he would not leave his mom. He left abruptly, saying he was late for work, leaving Naomi crying in frustration. Later that day, Naomi went to the kitchen and asked the maid if Alan's mom was truly his mother. The maid confirmed it, adding that she too had felt the same way when she first arrived, but eventually adjusted. She explained that the bond between Alan and his mom was unbreakable and continued with her cleaning as Naomi left the kitchen. The following morning, Naomi prepared to go out and called the cab driver from the day before, but he refused, not wanting to repeat the previous day's scenario. Naomi pleaded, assuring him that everything would be sorted out, then ended the call and headed out. On her way out, Alan's mom, who was sitting in the living room, asked if she was going out. Naomi replied angrily, saying that the house was too toxic and suffocating for her. Alan's mom asked her to sit down so they could talk, but Naomi insulted her, accusing her of making Alan choose her over his fiancée. At this point, Alan's mom became upset and asked if she had been there when Alan was struggling to become the man he was today. She challenged Naomi, asking if she expected him to choose her over his own mother. This made Naomi furious, and she left, sarcastically telling her to just marry him and give him children. Naomi was in tears while in the car, and the driver noticed. Remembering that she had cried the last time, he asked what was wrong. Naomi shared everything that was happening, and the driver was shocked. He consoled her with a few comforting words. When Alan returned from work, he noticed his mom seemed off and asked what was wrong. She suggested that he focus on Naomi and consider her feelings. Realizing that Naomi must have spoken to her, Alan immediately went to his room. He confronted Naomi, saying they couldn't be together if she couldn't accept his relationship with his mom as it was. They argued, and Naomi felt hurt. That night, unable to sleep, Naomi sat in tears. Alan got up, sat beside her, and apologized for making her cry. He explained that his relationship with his mom was normal and asked her to try to respect his mom. Naomi agreed to try, and they hugged. The next morning, Naomi went to the kitchen to apologize to Alan's mom, who forgave her. They hugged and made peace, which made Naomi feel better. Later that day, Naomi was doing the laundry and noticed Alan's underwear was missing. She asked him about it, and he said his mom always took care of it. Surprised, Naomi insisted that she would do it from now on, but Alan continued to insist his mom should handle it. Naomi became upset, saying that the only thing left was for his mom to bathe him, and she stormed out. Downstairs, Naomi confronted his mom about it, and she admitted she had already washed Alan's underwear, adding that she enjoyed doing it. Naomi found this unusual, wondering why a mother would want to wash her 32-year-old son's underwear. She concluded that she would take over that responsibility since she was now around. Later that night, while Alan and Naomi were asleep, Alan got up and went to his mom's room to sleep, as his mom comforted him to sleep. When Naomi woke up the next morning, she didn't see Alan and called for him, but he was nowhere to be found. She went to his mom's room, where his mom told her that Alan could only sleep well if he was with her, as he was used to it. Naomi was shocked, but didn't say anything as she left. After a while, Alan returned to their room, and Naomi was visibly upset with him, leading to another argument. The next morning, their wedding planner arrived, and Alan's mom chose a color for the wedding that Naomi didn't like. Naomi suggested her own color for the wedding, but they ignored her opinion. Upset, she shouted that it was her wedding and went upstairs. Alan followed her and warned her not to speak to his mom like that again. They argued, and Alan walked out of the room, frustrated. The next morning, Alan and his mom were discussing business and decided not to sign a particular deal as they believed it could harm them. Later, Alan mentioned this to Naomi, who acknowledged it casually and went to sleep, ignoring his attempts at intimacy. Later that day, a major client called Alan's mom, angry that they had signed the contract. Surprised, she calmed him down. When Alan was leaving for work, she asked him why he signed the deal, as his signature was on it. Alan insisted he hadn't signed, leaving his mom angry and suspicious. In her room, she called someone to investigate who had accessed the account and tampered with the contract. That same day, she discovered that Naomi was behind it. Confronting her in the kitchen, she scolded Naomi, who cried and begged for forgiveness, but her apology was ignored. When Alan came back from work, his mom told him she knew he hadn't signed the contract. Apologizing for her recent behavior, she hugged him, expressing how much she missed him. Alan felt relieved and happy as he went to his room to share the good news with Naomi, who was surprised his mom didn't reveal she was the one behind it. The next morning, Naomi saw Alan and his mom dancing together, looking very close, which overwhelmed her, and she left. Later that night, Naomi was in the car with a friend, venting about all the frustrations she was experiencing. The friend advised her to leave Alan, saying there were other men, even hinting that he liked her himself. This annoyed Naomi, and she warned him never to say that again before heading inside. When Naomi entered the house, she saw Alan and his mom together and greeted them before going to her room. Soon after, Alan joined her and found her in tears. Naomi explained that she couldn't continue living like this, crying every day. She told him she loved him but couldn't stay, adding that she had booked a flight. She removed her engagement ring and left, with Alan making little effort to stop her. As Naomi was leaving, Alan's mom stopped her. Naomi tearfully explained that she couldn't handle the situation anymore. Alan's mom comforted her, asked her to sit down, wiped her tears, and asked her to wait for just 10 minutes. Upstairs, Alan's mom spoke to her son, telling him that Naomi loved him and that he shouldn't let her go. She said it was time for him to start his own family, reminding him that he didn't owe her anything. She expressed her desire to see grandchildren and assured him that their bond would remain strong. She advised him to prioritize his wife and assured him that Naomi was a good woman. They hugged and Alan felt comforted. They went downstairs and Alan apologized to Naomi for all the pain he had caused. He promised to be more considerate and to prioritize her from now on. His mom added that Alan reminded her so much of his father in his looks, mannerisms, and personality, which was why she was so attached to him. She then apologized to Naomi, expressing her hope for grandchildren. Alan concluded that he would move out with Naomi to start their own family. He hugged his mom, then asked Naomi to join them in a group hug, bringing peace to the family. Thank you for watching. Let us know your thoughts on this story in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more interesting and educational stories in our world of movies. See you in the next episode.